And this afternoon, we have gathered here to climax the celebration of the week. It started on Monday, and then Tuesday, we had a radio program. This morning, we had a radio program at the station together with a number of activities. And this afternoon, we have gathered here to climax that. And then also to use this as a precursor of the big projects that we are seeking to do to improve road safety in the municipality and also improve how we respond to emergency and how we manage emergency. So that's why we have gathered here this afternoon. Fortunately, like I said, we've had so much support from our stakeholders, and it is very important that we recognize their contribution and the maximum participation and cooperation that we have had from them. So before I take my seat, I'd like to introduce all our stakeholders, especially the heads of our stakeholder institution. And I would start with the enforcers of the law. They ensure that there is so much discipline on the road. We happen to have the commander of the MTTD for Takwa, DSP Juliana Isiao Daze, represented over here. We also have the head of the fire service in our midst, DO3 Alex Isiam, also represented. And then we also have his 2IC, who is also represented here. We also have the head of the DVLA, who is Mr. David Amankwa. Thank you so much. And then we also have the leadership of the GPRTU. They are represented by Mr. Isian. And then the 2IC is also represented over here. Thank you so much, sir. And then we also have the National Road Safety Authority. They have been very supportive. They are represented by very beautiful ladies, Hilda and Abby. All right. And we have representation from the mining companies around who have provided so much resources for all that we have done over the past 3 days. So we have the senior HSC manager of Goldfields, who is Mr. Charles Opoku Amwating. We also have a representative of the managing director of Anglo Gold. He is the safety manager for Anglo Gold Ashanti, Mr. Eric Apia. And Mr. Eric Apia also came in the company of another stakeholder from the Anglo Gold Group. Say, you are welcome, please. Thank you. And we also have a representation of GMC. Okay, all right. All right, so these are the stakeholders that have been very much supportive for the program that we have done, and we are extremely grateful for that. Thank you.
You can please do it better for the coordinator of DEMHAP. He's done a very wonderful job. And of course, I want to recognize in our midst the CEO of Ejawu's Driving School. We also have in our midst representatives from Ardent Fire. Ardent Fire, it's good to see you. We have also in our midst my own brother, Dr. Dakon. Dr. Dakon, yeah. Thank you so much. This event has a chairman. And to introduce the chairman for this event, we have the University URO, Mr. Thomas Bright Eshen.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you all. You are all welcome to this special program. As it has been indicated, we have a chairman for this program, and he is a popular person. I always call him as a friend of the university. He is young, energetic, and very, very promising. Without taking much of your time, we shall all, with a clap of applause, invite the Municipal Chief Executive Officer, Honorable Benjamin Kessie, as the chairman for the occasion. And before I take my seat, the chairman will give us his opening remarks. Thank you very much. Let's give him an applause.
Professor Kwesi Mankwa, the Vice Chancellor of this great university, I dare say that all protocols respectfully observed. Yes, what can I say? I have no option than to accept to chair this important occasion. Recently, UMaT is always in the news for leading programs that put the university on the map. And I want to take this opportunity to commend the leadership of the university, especially the Vice Chancellor, for opening up the university for such programs. It is helping us, and we believe that all of us must come together to support the university in this direction. Safety is everything. At least for nothing at all, COVID has shown us the way that safety is something that cannot be left in our daily activities. So if we are given the opportunity to be part of such programs, we quickly have to accept it and support it by whatever means or command that we have. On this note, I accept to chair the program and invite everybody to support the program. Thank you very much.
You can do it once more for the Honorable Chairman. Yes, and we're quickly going to be taking addresses by key stakeholders. In fact, in our midst, we have some distinguished stakeholders, and we've grouped them into two. We're taking addresses from the key stakeholders, and afterwards, we will take addresses from industrial partners. And addressing us on driver licensing is a representative from DBLA. So without much ado, can we have the representative from DBLA give us the address on driver licensing? Please, a clap.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I strongly believe all protocols have been observed, and if Mr. Chairman will give me the clearance, I may proceed. Well, one will say, what is road safety? A lot has been discussed since Monday. A lot of radio programs, we have engaged a lot of drivers and then a lot of unions. As the team demands, it talks about health and safety. But I'm going to highlight more on the road and then how we use the road. One will say, or one will ask, what is road? According to Dr. J.Y. Emekashi, a road is simply defined as a way of any length of highway on which the public can travel from one point to another. Who are our road users? Road users are creatures, whether living or living things, that move across along the roads. In technical terms, they are known as traffic. We have three kinds of traffic, namely human traffic, vehicular traffic, and animal traffic. Human traffic are the adults, children, and physical challenged persons who use the roads. Vehicular traffics are the cars, bicycles, tricycles, trucks, heavy-duty machines, and others. Animal traffics are all kinds of animals, whether domestics or non-domestics. Now, the challenges on our road. Road safety pertains to measures taken to reduce the risk of traffic and death. Road safety challenges are as follows. 1. Institutional challenges. This relates to road governance and managerial abilities of institutions to corporately manage the affairs the country pertaining to road safety in Ghana, especially Takwa Inswayim municipality. Lack of coordination between and within institutions in the municipality also contributes to and worsen institutional challenges that are observed in the system. It gives the impression that government concern about the public safety is a mere political talk. Executional challenges. This is identified as a phase issues between implementation of policies and reforms and their executions on the ground. This process is always either slow or non-existent. Reforms are either legged against by the public or influenced negatively by a persons of influence. An example is the interference experienced by police officers who try to enforce the law to make the roads safe. Inadequate knowledge. Another challenge identified is inadequate knowledge on road safety exhibited by officials, staff and officials assigned to road policy implementation. Road agencies, staff, policymakers, and low-level personnel such as traffic controllers lack appropriate and satisfactory knowledge on the basic procedures with regards to road safety. Quoted from Odonko Ita 2020. Point 4, managerial and operational challenges. This relates to engineering systems to regulate and supervise the road sector, including road signs and signals. It further highlights wrong interpretation of safety signs and signals or their wrong placement on the road. Attitudinal and behavioral changes. This is about the attitude and beliefs of people and their way of life. They are mostly characterized by indisciplinary behavior, such as driving without license, riding without crash helmet, overspeeding, wrong overtaking, and encroachment. Lack of respect with traffic signs and signals. Alcoholic, drugs, unlawful parking, impatience, negligence, and others. Financial challenge is about how the municipality can source funds to construct its roads and to ensure its effective utilization and maintenance. Physical and mental state of drivers, the emotional, physical, psychological fitness of those road users. Now, condition of the vehicles. The condition of the vehicles on the road, such as expired tires, poor braking system, lack of seat belt, and poor lighting system. Maintenance and daily routine. Lack of inadequate regular routine, pre-start checks, journey management, and maintenance also contribute to number of accident cases in the municipality. Absence of towing track in the municipality, unregistered tricycles and motorcycles on our roads, unlicensed motorists, being it drivers or riders. Drivers found using low category of license to drive heavy-duty trucks. How to address these challenges? Sensitization and education. Radio program on road safety should be encouraged on most of our radio stations in the municipality, and evidence of punishing is the only way to deter motorists and other road users from being indisciplined on our roads. Enforcement. The GPRTU, MTTD, DVLA, Road Safety Authority, city guards should come on board to ensure discipline on our roads. Drivers retraining and retesting. DVLA, driving schools, and other stakeholders within the municipality should organize regular training and testing for drivers within the municipality. I must admit the GPRTU has been very cooperative in the education carried out by the DVLA in the past years and now. Moving forward, we will have to improve upon as it is captured as a provision in the LI. Revocation of driver's license. When a person commits or breaks road traffic rules, will soon have their license revoked or suspended. DVLA will collaborate with the courts and the police to enforce this. Road signs and road markings should be boldly displayed on our roads. Special appeal goes to the Honorable Municipal Chief Executive to try all his possible best to fix, construct, and maintain our inner and highway roads for us. All vehicular owners are being advised to undertake routine and regular maintenance checks seriously. We should all help to solicit assistance through the mining firms surrounded by this community to aid in procuring tow trucks at a lower fee to lift broken down vehicles on the shoulders and stretch of our highways. Observe road safety rules. Don't drink and drive. Always drive within speed limits. Don't drive tired. Look out for other road users. Dualization of the highway must be our next national agenda, and road safety is a shared responsibility. Let us unite to save lives and our roads. Thank you.
Addressing us on my favorite topic, road user indiscipline, is DSP Juliana Eshen Dazi of the MTTD, Ghana, please.
Mr. Chairman, the VC, the members of the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to be part of this important program, and I'm here to present to you road user indiscipline. We must first of all know that the cause of the indiscipline on our road are by human errors or behavior. And there are three categories of people involved. They are the driver, the passenger, and the pedestrian. But when we talk of driver, we mean a driver. Every person behind the steering wheel is a driver. Most people think when we are talking of drivers, they are referring to trotro drivers, taxi drivers, company drivers, and not that you go and get accidents, and all of us in the vehicle will die. Then illiteracy. Most people too have the license, but truly they cannot read and write. So if there is any road sign, they will not be able to identify it. So they also cause mayhem. Overspeeding. They want to go and come early, and as a result, they overspeed. Especially this Takradi road. Even though the road is somehow something, you see the driver overspeeding on it. So if you are a passenger and a driver overspeed, you please tell him to slow down, because once you have started the journey, by the time the night falls, you get to your destination. Then wrongful overtaking. The law says if a driver wants to overtake you, the car behind you wants to overtake, the law says you have to slow down for him to do the overtaking. But what do we see? Once the driver starts to overtake the car in front of him, then that car will start overspeeding. That is wrong. It's wrong. Anytime there's a car that wants to take you, you tap your brake, it will slow down, and the person will be able to go. And then some drivers also want to take about 6, 7 cars at the same time without considering the oncoming cars, and mostly cause accident. Then lack of maintenance of vehicle by drivers. Any good driver, before you move your car from where you parked the previous day, you must ensure that everything is right. The headlights, you check to see your water, fuel level, everything. But normally we don't do that. We only wake up the morning, spark, because the car has sparked, that's all we move. And then we get breakdown in the middle of the road and causes accident to other users of the road. And then driving while making a call. This is happening everywhere. The law says if you get a call whilst driving, you comfortably park, listen to the call. When you are done, then you move on. But they don't do it. They will drive as they receive the call. There was a time this gentleman who was arrested for making a call while driving. And when he was brought to our office, and I went there, he said, "Madam, this particular policeman hates me." Why? Because I only touched the phone and he got me arrested. No, the law says that if you touch it whilst you are driving, it is likely that your concentration will move from the vehicle to the phone, and that may cause accidents. And therefore, if you get a call, park, listen to your call, and when you are done, you move ahead. The next person is a passenger. The passenger, when they are in the car and he sees a friend, he will project his body outside the car and then be waving and telling people that, "Oh, I'm going to come. I'll be coming very soon." That is an offense. You shouldn't do that. Then some people will be chatting with their drivers. Then the driver will lose concentration, and if you don't take care, it will cause accident. Then some people also, immediately they get seated at the front seat. Before you realize, he will be sleeping. If you don't take care, the driver will also sleep. So if you are in a car and somebody is at the front seat sleeping, kindly tell him to come back and find somebody who will not sleep to come and take the front seat. And then quarreling with the driver's mate over fare, lorry fares, especially those who make trotro from short ones. Then there will be a disagreement on the fare. And the driver, because he's an interested party, when you are quarreling with his mate, will leave his concentration on the driving and concentrate on the fare issue, because at the end of the day, that is where he will get his daily bread. Then we talk about the pedestrians. The first one is jaywalking, especially with the women. When the driver gives us thoroughfare to move, that is the time we are going to walk as if we are tortoise. It is not. If the driver says you should pass in front of him, do it quickly. You should not be dancing and shaking your body on the road. It is not good. Then crossing at the wrong place. There will be a zebra crossing. Zebra crossing, footbridge, but we will not take that one. We will take our own route in the road, and it will cause accident. Then moving on the carriageway, you are supposed to move the offside the road. Then you will be taking where the drivers are supposed to go. And if they knock you down, it will become a problem. And then walking abreast. We are fond of doing that, especially in Takwa here. You know, Takwa roads are very narrow, very narrow. And 2-3 people, they will be walking abreast. So if you are driving, you have to exercise patience for them. Otherwise, you will knock them down. And they are pedestrians, you are a driver. Why should you wait for them? But instead of them to walk behind each other as they go along, no, they will walk abreast, causing nuisance on the road. And these 3 people together, we make the indiscipline on our road. Apart from, and then there is another thing that the Pedestrian also does. Almost every pedestrian crossing the road has a earphone in his or her ears. Almost everybody. Some people will be making call as they cross the road. It is not good. If you are fond of doing that, please stop it. Otherwise, one day, you will be knocked down by a vehicle. Then stopping vehicle, that is when a pedestrian wants to change to a passenger, anywhere he sees the car, then he will stop it. And the drivers too, once he has seen a passenger, no matter where you stop him or her, he will stop and pick you. These are not good, so we should stop them. Apart from these human errors or behavior, which contribute 80% of road accidents, there are other factors that add up the 20 to make 100, and they are the vehicle condition, road condition, and the weather condition. They come together to contribute to the fatality on our roads. How do you overcome this problem? Education. And it is the duty of the Road Safety Authority, together with the police, MTTD, to from time to time go to the terminals of the lorries and educate them. The first day they made the radio talk show on Dynamite, I listened to the program, and I realized that people phone in, meaning they were listening to the program, and the calls were coming. The moderator had to cut them short because of time. So if we go from time to time to educate them, I know Ghanaians will be law-abiding, and most of these things that cause the accident will be curtailed. Another one is provisions of road sign. Most of our road signs have faded, and as a result, they have to do it again. Then enforcement of regulation by MTT, traffic regulation by MTTD. This is where the problem lies. You have arrested a recalcitrant driver and you want to process him for court. By the time you realize a call comes, oh, I'm Nana so. This is my thing. I am Mr. So. And even our own police, you will call. I am ACP so. This is my boy. And you cannot do the right thing. The interference are too many. So I am praying that they should allow us to send most of these recalcitrant drivers to court for them to be punished. Then the next one is the avoidance of attitude to lead. Things that we do will cause accidents. We should try as much as possible to avoid them so that the accident will minimize. Then maintenance of vehicle. Most of us don't maintain our cars, and in the middle of the road, it got stuck, and it will be in the middle. If they leave them at the middle, even without road triangle to indicate that the vehicle in the middle of the road is spoiled, they will just leave it there. And if oncoming vehicle does not know, you come and hit, an accident will happen. Then we have to stop overloading the drivers. They always overload their vehicle, and at times it gets stuck at the middle of the road. Then the drivers should know the road signs before they are issued with licenses. That is DVLA. DVLA boss. Most of the drivers, they don't know the road signs. So before you issue them with the license, you let them go through before they acquire the license. And then deterrent punishment from the court. This is the problem. Most a time when we send the people, they have found only some few penalties, and that is not deterring. So next time another person will commit the same offense, and so the punishment at the court should be deterring, so that others will also not commit the same. This is the statistic of accidents of the first quarter in Takwa and its environs. Total number of accidents reported are 14. We had 9 fatal. Vehicle involved are 17. I'm ending. Vehicle involved are 17. Motorbikes 8. Pedestrian knockdown were 2. Death 8. And we had 7 injuries. I want to end by saying that we should all help stop the road accidents now. Speed kills, so carry your speed and save a pedestrian. I thank you all for your attention.
Oh, please, you can do it better. And I want to quickly do this. Before I introduce the next speaker, the unit from which the speaker comes from, the personnel here can give us a wave so that we know that you really came. So can we have personnel from Ghana, please, all giving us a wave? Oh, give it up to them. They are giving us a wave. They are here in their numbers, yes. And we've already had DVLA. So DVLA personnel, give us a wave. Let's see you. Personnel, all of you from DVLA. All right, thank you so much. I must quickly say this, that because of time, in fact, this and many more of these addresses are the reason why we have a second model of this stakeholder engagement coming up, and that is going to be in the form of a training, and we're going to be expecting more of these important information to be shared to the public. So for this fora's sake, I would urge that because of time, we quickly do our address so that we can have time for other things. Let's not forget that today we are launching a disaster and management hub. On that note, we invite the rep from Ghana National Fire Service to come and this address. Any other personnel from here should just give us a wave. Let's see you. Yes, they are here. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman, the Vice Chancellor, colleagues, stakeholders, the media, ladies and gentlemen, fire service, when you come to accident issues, played a very important role. Anytime we receive a distress call pertaining to road accident, quickly we dispatch our men to the scene. And when you get to the scene, everything concerning safety, life is paramount. So when there is an accident or you get to the scene, we have to ensure that if there is any life involved, what we do is to position our appliance strategically. And then we put on the hazards, the driver, we put on the hazards and the siren tool will sound. The hazards indicate that there is something going on at that particular place. So we do that to alert the other road users to be cautious when you get into the scene. When you do that, then we check if there is a victim. If there's a victim, we group them. The most serious one, we try and then rescue if there is access. But where there is no access, we also consider one thing. If there is any spillage, if there is any accelerant that can cause fire, we quickly deal with that. I think you saw it during the demonstration. When golfers got to the scene first, you see they applied water. We presume that there was a spillage and it happened to be fuel or anything flammable. So quickly they put water on it to reduce the danger, possible danger. Again, when you look at that, after we have done that, we also try and then stabilize the vehicles involved. We have the necessary GS in the appliance, because if you are working on any accident car and it is not well stabilized, possibly you can also cause a problem to the victims. So we ensure that all these things are taken care of before we start working. If there is the need for us to do extrication work, probably in most accidents you can see that people are trapped, and even we, the rescuers, we cannot get access to the place. So the best thing we have to do is to use the tools that we have and do the extrication work to rescue those involved in the accident. Or probably if somebody too is trapped by the steer, locked by the steer, what we do, we have the GS, we have a spreader and other GS we use. We spread and release the person from the steer locked, then we rescue the person. Some of the challenges fire service face when you get to the accident scene. You know, Ghanaians, we are very friendly, we help a lot. But sometimes in the course of helping or assisting, we rather cause more danger to the victims. Fire service has a basic knowledge in fire safety. Fire service has a basic knowledge in first aid. You know, in the course of rescue somebody, the neck is the most important. You can't hold a person casualty anyhow, while the neck will be twisting here and there. If you do that, you cause more danger to the victim. Challenges that fire service face is that sometimes the public interfere in our activity, in our operational work. Everybody wants to take part in the rescue of the person. But one thing we should note is that if you are not having any knowledge, or you don't have any knowledge pertaining to what has happened, please just allow those who have the knowledge, who have who are expertise to do the job, leave them to do it. In most cases, when you get it, everybody will try to do something. Everybody try to do something. So I believe that this program is teaching us a lot. And we all have to send the message up there. Another challenge of which it happens today, when the incident occurred and you call the firemen, the other road users, the siren will be on, the beacon light will be on, all right. But then, they don't give chance for us to get to the scene early. And it has been a big challenge to fire service. Sometimes they probably do blame the service that we've called several times and you fail to come. So look at the time you have come. You should all bear in mind that fire service is not the only road user. There are other road users. And Ghana here, we don't have emergency road. Whatever we have in Ghana, we need to manage it. So all that I want to say is that when you hear the siren or you see the beacon light, please pave way for the emergency car to get access and then get to the scene as early as possible. Thank you very much. Hope I will end here.
So the message is clear and simple. Pave way for the emergency truck to come. One more round of applause for the fire officer. That's a very bold statement. I want to quickly acknowledge some personalities in this university who are in our midst. We have in our midst Professor Grace Ofori-Sapon, Dean, School of Postgraduate Studies. Okay. We also have the Dean, Office of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, under which Disaster and Emergency Management Hub operates. That's Professor, my own dad, Samuel Nduru. In our midst, we have Professor Mrs. Beatrice Mrekujima, Dean of International Programs, also in our midst. Mom, let's see you. And we also have Professor Michael Afam, the landlord of this auditorium, Dean of School of Petroleum. All right. So quickly, we are going to take some first aid tips from Dr. Darkon. And like I said, I want us to be mindful of the time so that we can have enough to dwell on when we get into the training. And please, we have our washrooms at this end of the gate. So when you get there, just see any of the ushers and they will direct you there. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon to us all. I'm going to make this quite brief and as practical as possible. When my fire commander was speaking, he actually did comment that when accidents happen, everybody wants to do something. I'm hoping that by the time we are leaving here, everyone will be willing to do the right thing. Because the truth is, when accidents happen, most of the time it is a passerby who chances upon it, or a driver following the vehicles involved. It is highly unlikely that it will be a health personnel, all right, or a fire person, or the MTTD person. It's going to be a bystander, somebody who is just passing by. And so it's very important that we get to know what we should do when we chance upon an accident victim. Now, we've had so many cases of accidents that we've seen at the hospitals. I think somewhere in the heat of COVID, we were called to Simpa one night, myself and my ambulance team. There were a lot of nights. So it was around 11:30, almost 12, and we just chanced upon it. We chanced upon the accident. We were not called, actually. And to my horror, I got down from the ambulance and I saw so many people surrounding a very young man who apparently had been knocked down by a moving vehicle in a pool of blood, motionless and gasping, okay? Or he was finding it very difficult to breathe, all right? So we got in there, and what horrified me actually was people there helpless. I could tell from their faces that they wanted to help, but they didn't know what to do. They were taking videos and taking pictures, and the guy was dying. That was the first aid that they could give. Is that proper? Now, let me ask this. I want somebody to come and check my pulse right now. I need a volunteer to come and check my pulse. Can I get one volunteer to check my pulse? Okay. She got close, okay? She got close, and at least she's down well. But these are some of the basic things that we need to know. How to, save lives. Because when in accidents, minutes, in fact, seconds, minutes, hours are very important. And it takes a moment of time for any of us to become the victim. And I'm sure that we would appreciate it if the person attending to us had some first aid tips or knew what to do. Because if the person doesn't know what to do, I can assure you by the time you get to the hospital, your injuries would have worsened, or worse, so you'll be dead. Okay. The first thing is, if you chance upon the accident scene, if the engine is still running, it is crucial that, first of all, call for help. Very essential. Okay, call for help. When we say call for help, call professional help, as well as, because you cannot take care of the person yourself. All right? So you call for help, you call the ambulance or the fire service, and then you also call other people who are nearby to assist. And then you make sure that the engine is off. Because if there is spillage, then you have another hazard. The possibility of starting a fire is quite high, or an explosion. I think we remember when that, was it Metro Mass, somewhere that got bent. Okay, so those things are very important. And then you yourself also, you have to make sure that you are safe. You cannot, it doesn't make any sense to attempt to save somebody. Let's say somebody who has been involved in a motorcycle accident in the middle of the road, and then you want to go and examine the person in the middle of the road. It doesn't make sense. So you ensure that wherever you are going to assess or help the people is safe. It's quite safe. And in doing that, you don't just go helping anybody, especially if we have multiple victims involved. If you have a vehicle carrying about more than one person, you do not just go, anybody that you see, then you help. You first of all assess the people. The person who is shouting, "Oh, that person is not dying, at least not immediately." Okay? The one who is there not saying anything, but you can see some signs of life. We will get there. You can see some signs of life. The person is probably unconscious or semi-conscious, and the person cannot even call you for help. Those are the people who need immediate help. My ambulance people will tell you, we triage them. When we get there, we have tags that we put on those people. We triage them. We want to see. There are some of them who can even walk. In fact, there are circumstances where we have asked people in the accident victim to assist us. So you have to assess the degree of injury. So the person who is dying needs help first. The one who is dead, of course, the dead person doesn't fear knife. That one doesn't need any help. The one who is shouting and is cleaning dirt from his body doesn't need immediate help. The ones who need immediate help are the ones that we are talking about here. So first thing, you want to check that the person is breathing. Now, when you are breathing, what happens to your chest? When you are breathing, normally you don't pay attention to your breathing until there's something wrong. That's the truth. Nobody here pays attention to his heart beating or her chest moving when you are breathing. The only times you do that is when there is an issue. Maybe you feel that, then you begin to pay attention to it. Okay? So you want to first expose the people and then check. You go as close as possible. Either you put your cheek to the person's nose, because when you are breathing, you feel the hot breath on your cheeks. Or you can just inspect the chest. All right? There's instances where you can see some part of the one side of the chest rising more than the other. That goes beyond you. Okay, but you have to check and see if you can see any signs of the chest moving up and down. There is nobody here who breathes with the chest not moving up and down. It's not possible. Okay, so that's very important. You want to check if the person is actually breathing or not. Now, in, let's say, the throttle, you have somebody possibly eating before the accident happened. Or you have an elderly person in the throttle who was wearing dentures. I don't know how to say, I'm sure we know what dentures are. Old people, when their teeth fall off, they go to the dentist and they give them artificial teeth. Okay? We have people who wear braces and all that. During an accident, especially if the person falls unconscious and the dentures remove, the denture can become a hazard. Or the food the person was eating and the person collapses. We've had situations where people have collapsed whilst eating, and it wasn't the collapsing itself that killed them, but the thing they had in their mouth that choked them. Okay, so if you have somebody lying down, maybe you check the person wasn't breathing. Quickly open the person's mouth and use your index or your middle finger to remove whatever you find in the person's mouth. Okay, so that you free the airway. It's very, very important. You cannot do anything if the person's airway is blocked. It is an effort in futility. And so you quickly open the person's mouth. You want to check if there's anything in there. Then you bring the thing out. And also, it is crucial that you put the person in what we call the recovery position. It's because even if the person doesn't have any dentures in the mouth, if you collapse, when you sleep and you lie flat, you are likely to snore than lying on your side. The reason is when you sleep flat, the person collapses. Your tongue can fall back and block your airway. Okay? So you want to put the person in the left lateral position, or just put the person on the side. And doing that also, in case the person is bleeding from the mouth or the person is vomiting, it doesn't choke the person. It comes out. All right? So it's very important that... Okay. All right. I think our time is almost up. Okay, so it's very important that you put the person in the left lateral position. Now, in the event that you need to move the person, do not be over-ambitious and just carry the person in your arms, and the person's hands are hanging and their head is falling back. We have we also spinal cord. My spinal cord is paining in my spinal. If you just touch the back of your neck, you'll feel some bone there. All right, we all have it. We have some bones there that important nerves pass through. The muscle that helps you breathe, the reason why we always talk about the head and the neck, the muscle that helps you breathe, the nerves that control those muscles pass through those, the bones at the back there. So in the event that the person had a fracture of that bone, maybe there is still some space. It hasn't affected the nerves yet. But as you are moving the person, the head is dangling. If you compress that nerve, your diaphragm, that muscle will stop working. And the person wasn't bleeding. The person didn't have any internal bleeding or external bleeding, but simply because of the way you carry the person. During our demonstration time, I think we'll show how to carry, but make sure that you're at least two people. You put your hand behind the person's head and neck like this, so that the person's neck doesn't move around. At least if you don't do anything for the person, doing that, I mean, in an effort to transport the person, doing that alone can save the person's life. And then finally, I'm not sure, I don't know how many of us have some skills in basic life support. That is one thing. If the person, maybe like she checked my pulse, assuming she checked my pulse and she didn't feel anything. Now she checked here. She wasn't too far. You can just put your hand here. Okay, that's what we call the radial pulse here, or the carotid pulse here. Okay, if you do not feel anything, that is when you need to commence what we call the CPR. Okay, the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And then what you are trying to do is restart the person's heart or make the person's heart beat. And if you chance upon an accident where there is a deep laceration, these are common things we see. You see that somebody would have used the rope to tie the leg. And by the time they get to the hospital, the whole limb is dead. So we have to cut the limb off. You don't need to do that. If there is an open wound that is bleeding, just apply pressure. Get anything. If you have a cloth, maybe I'm sure the car or vehicle will have some duster or something. Don't worry about whether it's dirty or not. At that point, the person doesn't mind too much. Just apply pressure on the wound. And doing that, you are trying to stop the bleeding. Okay, we do not want you to go and tie above the wound. And because when you do that, you are actually, risking the person's limb. And so there is a lot more, but time is up. So I'll leave it here, and then during the demonstration session, we would go deeper. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I must applaud this young man. Give it up for Dr. Daku once more. Gone are those days when we were young and your parents take you to the hospital and they say, I want an old man. These days, the young men are also doing a lot. Give it up one more time to him. Please, for the sake of time, Doc, if you say all of this here, next time when we call for training, they won't come for us to give them the certificates. That's why we are here, to give them intensive training. So please, let's make it brief so that we can capture all that. We're going to take our last address. We're supposed to have a representative of the MP here. That is, if the person is here. But before that, let me quickly recognize our sponsors and our donors. We have Ardent Fire. We also have WTS. We have So Nice Drinking Water, Sampeb, Royal Eye Care, and Pax Eminence. We want to say thank you to all of you, and of course to Goldfields and all of you who came. We're quickly going to take remarks by key industrial partners. We're taking that from Goldfields in the person of Mr. Charles Amwatin. Let's please make it brief. Give it up one more time to him.
Yeah, thank you. The name is Charles Opoku Amwatin. Honorable Chair, Vice Chancellor, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. I am one of the happiest persons in this room at this stage, simply because for all what we've been discussing, interacting, what we've been heard, what we've been told, at least we've seen the green light at the end of the tunnel. We know the challenges on our roads, of which we can say a number of factors attributing to that. But largely, we can pinpoint one thing, that is indiscipline. How do we correct this canker? How do we correct this canker to save our lives, the perished souls that we're losing? That is where we have earmarked this program, first of all, to catch us live as we've been doing, or we have done, and then usher us into the second stage. That is the hint the MC gave us. We are going to usher ourselves into the second phase. My outline to you will serve as an assignment at the same time to all of us. An assignment that I wish we'll take it home, in the sense that I'm sure we will all be happy if we get up one day, move to town, and see standards up positively. How would you feel? If we walk through the town or the municipality, and then we see that safety in town is up, how would you feel? That is the ultimate thing that we want to do here. And that is the assignment I want to give to everybody. The most important thing, as I mentioned, is the indiscipline. And at this stage, correcting an indiscipline, we have another challenge. The easier thing that we used to call human right. Human right. The thing called human right. So we try to strategize by presenting ourselves here in a room like this, projecting photographs of our own causes, incidents on our route, the fundamental causes, the impact, the ripple effect. That is what will pump much, excuse me to use the word, sense into our lives. And that is the way we can change our way of thinking, we can change our life, and then get the ultimate. So my assignment to you, as I said, is that please, wherever you are, ensure that when the time comes, you get a chance to be in the room just to look at the photos. Look at the nature of incident. I wouldn't mention accident because they are not accident. They are incident. See what caused it. The impact, how people are perishing from that angle. Then we can take our lessons, because I believe in seeing is believing. So when we have that table before us, we will have a better way to step up the discipline in our municipality, and then set our municipal environment as a role model or a standard in the nation. So that is the ultimate that we want to hit here. And I'm very sure that within some few months from now, we can hit the road and get to that level. So what we need from you, we here means the committee. What we need from you as a stakeholder or stakeholders in this is your cooperation and support. Without you, we cannot. So just as we have been here and very happy going through the exercise, we want to canvass on your support and ensure that when the time comes, we present our people, we present our resources, and then hit to make sure that we save lives and properties on the way. Thank you very much.
Let's say a big thank you to Goldfields once more. In fact, they've been helpful throughout this program. And I must say that most of the alcohol test kits were provided by Goldfields, and we are so grateful. And in fact, the reason why we decided to do this program outside was because we want to tell you that next year we'll be expecting all mining companies to come along with some of all these. And in fact, you'll be bringing us more support. We will not be seeing only Goldfields. So today, we are giving you the credit, but I'm sure Anglo Gold next year will prove they are there. So without much ado, Mr. Eric Apia Jemfi will give the address on behalf of Anglo Gold.
Thank you. Honorable MC and Chairman, the Vice President, Vice Chancellor for UMaT, reps of key institutions and other mining companies, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Anglo Gold Ashanti Idrapim Mine is pleased to join you all in commemorating this year's World Day for Safety and Health at Work. I am also personally honored to be making these remarks on behalf of my Managing Director, who was unable to join us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, all organizations, regardless of the sector in which we find ourselves, need to be able to respond to workplace emergencies in a competent and speedy manner. To achieve this goal, it is important that companies not only have emergency response plans in place, but also to train their staffs. By training staffs, employees will be prepared to respond to emergency suitably and promptly. We therefore commend the organizers for putting together this very educative program. Indeed, those of you who were outside with us, it was clear from the simulation that being prepared and equipped in advance helps deal with emergency situations and could also prevent fatalities and save lives. The theme chosen for discussion, that is the road accidents, the challenges of the indisciplined drivers, it's very apt and it's in line with the theme for the world, this year's World Health and Safety Day celebration. In simple terms, that is, we should anticipate, prepare, and respond. You need to anticipate what might affect you and then do something about it, just as we've been doing since Monday. When you anticipate hazards, you are taking proactive approach instead of a reactive one, where you simply wait until something attracts your attention and demands your immediate action. In essence, you are predicting the future and acting in advance to keep bad things from happening, which might impact negatively on your workforce. So we saw that when the emergency team was called in, Immediately we saw the fire tenders, we saw the ambulance, we saw the police. If we had not invested in these equipment, where do you think we would have gotten all this help from? And I believe we wouldn't have been able to also preserve the lives of the people who were involved in the accident. Preparation also helps you think about all options available to control the emergency. It is about putting in place systems and getting ready for the emergency, as well as undertaking a proper risk management that is systematically planned and covers all reasonable foreseeable hazards and associated risks. Ladies and gentlemen, above all, we should be ready to respond to adverse situations by engineering controls or any other means which is applicable. We should be ready to deploy resources, both human and machinery, to effectively deal with situations. At Idrapre, we have 6 major values, and we say safety is our first value. This means we place a lot of emphasis on the safety of our workforce. We say the people are our business, and the business is the people. Without a healthy workforce, there is no way you can achieve our business objectives. So we remain committed to working with UMaT and all the other stakeholders to help build capabilities in the prevention of disaster and to swiftly respond to emergencies within the Tarkwa municipality. Thank you very much for your attention.
Please do it one more time for Anglo Gold Ashanti. And of course, like I said, it's all about disaster and emergency management. And for this particular year, we are focusing on roads. And so that's how come we're having the National Roads Authority, National Roads and Safety Authority becoming the last to address it. So without much ado, let's invite Nana Ekia Ansa, the Regional NRSA Director, to give us address.
Thank you very much. The chairman, VC, institutional heads, the media, all protocol observed. As he said, my name is Nanekia. We, first and foremost, would like to thank the organizers for this program. In fact, we are so grateful. We are so grateful. Because it is such programs that last year, we didn't contribute to the fatalities of Ghana. Western region, we had a decrease in our fatalities. So we are so thankful, and we know that the impact or the outcome will be great, that this year too, we are not going to contribute to the fatalities in the country. As we all know, we are now an authority by an Act of Parliament, Act 993. And so in addition to our former commission work, we are now to regulate all road safety activities. We regulate road safety activities. We go to institutions to inspect, and also we ensure compliance. Again, looking at road traffic issues, it's a global something. And the whole world, by the end of this year, about 1.3 million people are going to die. And 50 million people are going to suffer from all injuries. So Ghana is no exception. Looking at our first quarter statistics, we recorded about 4,009 cases. And out of this 4,009 cases, vehicles involved are 6,830. And out of this, about 2,476 vehicles are commercial. and 2,771 are private vehicles. 1,583 are motorcycles. And again, those who were knocked down, pedestrians who were knocked down were 724 people were knocked down. Out of the 724, 209 got killed, and 515 got injured. I just want you to know what is going on our roads. Again, when you come to those who were killed by road crashes, about 771 people got killed. And out of this 779, 556 were males, and 135 were females. So if you are a male here, please, just think about this. Think about it. Again, let's look at those who got injured. About 4,200 people got injured. Now we are coming to the region. As at first quarter, that is from January to March, we recorded 237 cases. And out of this, 154 were commercial vehicles. Private vehicles were 155. Motorcycle were 114. And so when you add all those together, it is 423 vehicles that got involved in all those road crashes. And out of that, 70 people were knocked down on our roads. And out of the 70, 55 got injured and 15 got killed at the spot. And most of these cases, when they knock the person, they run away. So run off, they run. Again, when you look at the persons killed in the region, we had 75 people, 37 people got killed. And out of the 37, you can imagine how many men got killed. So 30 men got killed, and 7 were females. So you can just imagine what's happening on our road. Why is this going on? Why are men dying? Why? Yes, we know you are the breadwinners. We know that you do the driving. Yes. But why is it that, ladies, we also ride. We also drive. Why is it that we drive but we don't get ourselves involved in crashes? So we throw the questions to the men, and we want you to answer them for us, because it is becoming we need you in the house. Without you, the house is empty. So please, we thank the organizers. We thank you very much. And it's like in Ghana, why do we have this nose mask on our mouth? Why? It's because we are all afraid to transmit the virus from one person to the other. Have we not heard of road crashes death before? And what have we been doing to curb all these crashes? We have done nothing. But look at this virus. Now we all have this nose mask. Why is it possible? And when you look at the statistics from our health institution, they will tell you that from last year up to this year, it's like we have recorded about 700 death cases. But look at road crashes. From last year, from January to December, recorded about 2,500 deaths. Why is it that with the COVID death, it is not that high? Why? Why? I need answers. VC, please give me some time, I beg you. Why? Why is it that we are not having upsurge in COVID deaths? Why? It is because we are cautious, right? We don't want to get it, so anywhere we go, we want to obey the protocols. Why is it that road crashes death, it's like it's a normal death, and so we don't value, we hear about 35 people that, and we say, oh, that's a soul. and we'll be in our car driving and at the same time testing. We'll be in our car driving and at the same time receiving call. What do you think will come out from it? Won't we always record high crashes? So all that I'm saying is that it is the individual attitude that we have to change. We have to stop distractive driving. Driving whilst talking on phone, driving whilst eating, driving whilst doing other things where your attention will be taken off from the driving. We have to stop it. Road safety, we'll go to the radio and do the education with our stakeholders. We'll go and talk. But if you don't take it and practice it, we will always experience all this upsurge in our driving cases. So please, we are appealing to you, just as you are obeying the protocols, we are pleading with you that value your staff members at your various institutions. Just that you tell them about the protocols in the COVID, wash your hands, do this. We are also pleading with you that make time and educate your members, your staff members, even if not every morning, at least once a week, gather them. You have pedestrians among them. You have drivers, you have passengers. Educate them, give them the tips. And I believe that with all these, we can all record decrease in road crashes death. Thank you very much.
Oh, do it better, do it better. I like ladies. In fact, if all the directors of the institutions were ladies, we won't close today. I would have sat for them to talk because I like the way they speak with everything they have. Give it up to the ladies and of course to all our presenters. Ladies and gentlemen, please, at this juncture, if you are not seated, I would want you to sit because the Vice Chancellor of this university is about to address this audience. Without much ado, I give the microphone to Professor Amankwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable MC. This is going to be a short one. In March this year, that was last month, I got the support of Academic Board to launch or to institute the Disaster and Emergency Management Hub of this university. And on 1st April, I appointed the coordinator of the Disaster and Emergency Management Hub in the person of Dr. Eric Stern. After taking over on 1st April, he didn't get an honeymoon. I gave him the task to organize this program. So it means that what we have seen today took less than 1 month to put together. The Disaster and Emergency Management Hub of the university has 4 things to do. One of them is to handle issues of occupational health and safety on campus. Indeed, we want to make it such that by the time any student leaves our campus, he knows about first aid and he knows about cardiopulmonary resuscitation, amongst others. They are going to coordinate that activity. Apart from that, they are also supposed to educate society on issues of disaster and emergency management. Anticipate, prepare, respond. For instance, this morning, we went on this alcohol testing, and 3% of the people who were tested had alcohol in their system. One of them, the dose was about 4 times the minimum. All those who were caught were taxi drivers. It means that society needs education. And I'm hoping that very soon, the companies around us will help so that we will move from Takwa and tackle virtually the whole of Western region and possibly move on to other parts of Ghana to spread this message. Another job they have to do is to map out Ghana into disaster-prone areas and develop strategies to mitigate those disasters as and when they are to come. And finally, they are to link up with the police. Thank God you are here already. Link up with the army, national, that is NADMO, and Red Cross, and all the key stakeholders that we have here, so that together we can make the nation safe. That is the reason why we established the Disaster and Emergency Management Hub. Today's events have been wonderful, and I look forward to better times. On that note, I declare the Disaster and Emergency Management Hub duly launched. Thank you.
Oh, you can do it better. You can do it better. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Amankwa. On that note, we know we've taken so much of your time, and give it up to yourself. You've been a very good audience. Give it up to yourself. Thank you so much for keeping faith with us. We're going to take a remark from the chairman, the Honorable MC, Honorable Benjamin Kessie.
The Vice Chancellor of this great university, I want to join the rep from Road Safety to say that we are happy you organized this program. And you just told us that it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. As a result, you have a board in place to be formulating programs and policies in this direction. But I didn't know the men are dying that much. Is it because a woman presented a report? Men, we are dying, and we need to be very careful. Of course, the number of drivers, the number of males and females who are driving, the difference is so vast. So that could be the reason why the men are dying the more. And we carry a load. But something is very important, that we take the safety precautions seriously. Prof, I want to see how you're going to get the very people who are involved in this to be active participants in such programs. The taxi drivers, when you want them to be part of programs like this, it's very difficult. I don't know if you got them at the station when you went there. They are not interested in things like this, but they are the people who actually cause the problems. I mean the commercial drivers. It's difficult getting them to even listen to you for a minute, even when you go to them. So let's see how we get them to be actively involved in some of these things. Of course, our roads are bad. For us in Takwan Swayem, we know our problem. But whether the roads are bad or good, the accidents are going on. Even on the motorway, there are accidents. So I want to believe that the nature of the roads do play parts, but the fact that we don't take the safety precautions seriously is key, and we need to consider that one. Our road markings will be handled. We have put plans in place to get all those things done. What I want to say is that UMaT must be commended for some of the programs they do, especially opening up the university for programs like this. It is up to us to take advantage of the programs they do and then reach out to the people so that we all stay safe, live healthy life, so we can, support our families back home. Everybody that's contributed to this program has done well. The participants have listened, and we believe that all of us together can reduce road accidents. Thank you very much for the opportunity to chair the program.
Oh, give it up one more time to Honorable. We're soon going to be closing, but Honorable, I have to emphasize that yes, we did engage the commercial drivers. But I understand the GPRTU is well represented throughout this program. Let's give it up for GPRTU. They've been very, very supportive right from the beginning. And I'm sure in future we will involve even the tricycle people. All right, we're going to take a vote of thanks from Esther Opoku Jesse, a member of the DenHub team. But I want to also invite all the people the organizers, the DenHub team members, to come and give her moral support as we acknowledge the people that gave us this opportunity. All the team members, please come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman, the Vice Chancellor, Managing Directors, all stakeholders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The Disaster and Emergency Management Hub would like to say a big thank you for making this day possible. Special thanks to the co-partner for this program, Goldfields Ghana Limited, and also to Anglo Gold Ashanti Idiapim Limited, Ghana Manganese Company, Shirano Gold Mines Limited, for supporting us, and we look forward to a greater support, even in the second phase. So kindly permit me to also acknowledge all our corporate stakeholders in this project. We have the National Road Safety Authority, Fire Service, MTTD, GPRTU, Ambulance Service, and DVLA. And also to our sponsors, we have Pax Eminence for sponsoring our DenHub t-shirts. We have Royal Eye Care. We have Superb Catering Services, So Nice Drinking Water, Western Transport Services, and Real Street and Beat Supply Entertainment for their support. Now, the last but not the least, we want to thank all our media partners, Dynamite FM, Mining City Radio, Space FM, Ajunepa FM, and OWAS FM for hosting us talk shows, and also to Joy News for today. And to the university community and everyone present here today, we want to say we are grateful, and we seek to continuously count on your support as we progress in our emergency hub programs in order to promote safety in the municipality and our nation, Ghana, at large. So DenHub wants to say thank you very much, and God richly bless you.
On that note, we want to say thank you to all of you, and please be informed that we are building a community, and as such, we already have a platform for emergency and disaster stakeholders. So very soon, I'm sure if you're not on the platform, those of you who are stakeholders, you're going to be contacted for such. We want to move at a pace that is measurable to the troubles that are surrounding us. Thank you so much. We'll take a closing prayer from Reverend Johannes Ami. Reverend Johannes, thank you.
Shall we pray? I think we've been sitting for a while, so let's be on our feet as we also take that closing prayer. We are praying. Unto you, O Lord, be all glory, honor, and adoration. We thank you for successfully seeing us through this program. When we began, we called upon you. And Lord, indeed, you have seen us through. And so we are saying thank you. We pray and we commit all our deliberations and our discussions into your hands. We've spoken much. We've heard a lot of things. But we pray that, Lord, you shall grant us the grace, even not to be just hearers of these words, but, Lord, put them into practice. We pray for that grace to be disciplined on our roads. We pray for grace to be disciplined wherever we find ourselves. We pray for grace that, Lord, will be safety conscious wherever we find ourselves, in our homes, at our place of work. And we ask that, Lord, as we commemorate this day of health and safety, you shall keep our roads safe even in this nation. We pray and we commit ourselves into your hands as we leave this place. We ask that you shall carry us on your wings, that we will get to our destination safely. We know that you have heard us because we have prayed in your name. Amen.
Please, we want to take a group picture. I think, all of us. Yeah, a group picture for, so please, I think the best place is just at the forecourt there. Is it still raining? Yeah, right in front there. Yeah, we have a shelter there. So please, let's move there and take a group picture. Thank you so much, Ardent Fire. Thank you to all our partners.